Candy Waits, and I want to tell you about that. I remember putting out yard signs, carrying chests full of ice for fundraisers, back in the day when you licked stamps and licked envelopes, and doing everything I could to make sure Candy Waits stayed in the South Carolina House of Representatives. And I learned from her and many other strong women in my life about the importance of women's health. And Candy, God bless you for the work you've done. And as her sign says, that she cannot believe that we still have to protect reproductive rights in South Carolina 25 years from
That's when I was in the House.
Yeah, from March 8, 1991, which when she began her service. And yes, we are still here. And the fight is stakes are getting higher and getting harder. And Candy, thank you for the example of your leadership and the encouragement you've given me. I would not be here right now but for your support, and thank you. This power, the power to make change is yours. Doesn't come from in the House. It doesn't come from any particular words I might say from that well, although I tell you, it is an extraordinary privilege to be there, and I will never miss an opportunity to stand up for women's health in South Carolina, and I'm grateful to do that today. 4 investigations, over a dozen bills assaulting the constitutional right of our women in South Carolina to access health care. Do not be confused. Make no mistake, and Candy, as your sign makes it so clear, there is a direct political assault on the constitutional rights of women in South Carolina. It has become a political test, a check the block for many colleagues of mine in the House, and as they face their primary challenge, that's what it's about. Making sure that they have checked that political block before the primary comes. They're not thinking about the women in South Carolina. They're not thinking about the real stories. They're thinking about this political reality that they believe that they must comply with. I never take a day for granted in the privilege to serve this body. And often I like to walk these steps into the front door, so it's never like another day at the office. And this debate has been very clear that this is a direct assault on the constitutional rights of women in South Carolina. And it says something important. These members who think they know all, they understand all, that before understanding the first situation of any woman in our state faced with a very difficult decision, that regardless of the consequences, no matter the circumstance, they know better. And understand, this is not the beginning. This is certainly not the end. We will see more and more continued efforts to bring about bills which will restrict access to reproductive health to women in South Carolina. I've received many stories of South Carolinians who have told me their stories, and I'm taking that to the floor of the House, of women who have faced the decision of life-giving cancer treatment and the decision they have to make within the context of a pregnancy that they've learned the same day. Or as we saw in the movie Trap the other day, no doubt we've seen this circumstance in South Carolina. Tragically, and yes, I have to tell my colleagues, it does happen. There are fathers that rape their daughters. It's sad, but it's true. And no, you do not know better than they know about their future, no matter what you think. And we saw a circumstance where, sadly, a young 13-year-old girl found out that she was pregnant by her father, and of course he was not eager that she see a physician or see any authorities, you might imagine. And she had to travel some 4 hours in the state of Texas. A statistic that came from that, even though it is still available and the restrictions they're providing in that state, hundreds of thousands of women are crossing the border to Mexico because they can't access their constitutional right to health care in their own state. It's coming here. It is coming to South Carolina. And this young girl was 20 weeks and 5 days when she appeared at the clinic. In South Carolina, under this law, the House members and the Senate members say they know better, and her decision is made for her and she would be turned away in South Carolina. But you all can make the difference. Your presence here today is so important. It is so critical. I want to give you some action to take. And I know this has been shared, and I want to thank the organization Tell Them. I want to say to that organization and to Coalition for Healthy Families and to South Carolina Equality, and particularly to Planned Parenthood, who I know has been under assault these past several years. I am proud to stand with you all. I am proud to support what you do because I know it makes a difference in South Carolina. The message must be clear now. It is in the governor's hands. And there have been some great things I've read in the paper and some stories about we need to depend upon the relationship and trust. Lord, trust the women of our state to make the right decision for themselves in consultation with their physician and in their own faith. I know I trust them. I know I have total confidence in the women in South Carolina. So let the governor know. Let her know in text to 52886. Text to 52886 and text the words or the actual number in words 20 week. So text 20WEEK to 52886 and you will be given the opportunity to send a message directly to our governor and tell her the one clear message that we all share, which is veto 3114. To veto 3114, and she'll have the support in both chambers that will uphold that veto. They won't have a veto ability to overturn that, and that is the right thing to do for all of South Carolina, to stand up. You know, one last point. My colleagues, many of them Republicans, they'll fight tooth and nail for the Second Amendment. They believe in the Constitution far and long when it comes to protecting someone's right to a weapon. But when it comes to a woman's right to make the decision about her own health, that seems to be a second-class status, not quite strong enough of a constitutional right. Send them the message that they're wrong about that. Hold them accountable. Stay engaged. We're going to be there, and together we will succeed. Thank you. God bless.